Okay. So hi, yeah. So I think in last class we checked with higher order functions, right? So some of the higher order function we checked and we saw the callback functions as well, right? After callback only we have started with higher order functions. So I think today we are going for every, sum, for each, and reduce, right? I think these are the four methods we are left with. So we have completed all these things and then we are going for every. So as we understood, like higher order functions takes what is that? Like callback function to it, and it works on the each element of the array, right? And it returns a new array if in the case. So that is the thing we are going to check. So next method we are going to check for every. Every is nothing but like whenever you are providing any condition in the callback, like previously what was happening, like whichever condition matches in the filter, that was just returning, right? Whichever condition matches in the find, that respective first match was returning. But in every is such a things, like let's suppose you have to find out in school or in this class, okay, is all a student passed in the subject, like that, okay, all student passed in the subject you want to check. So what you will do, you will go and check. Pass in the subject means you will go, you'll do for loop of all the student detail. You will check, okay, there, let's suppose physics. So physics mark is greater than 30 or something, right? So you'll do if condition inside it and you'll check and you'll calculate it. If any will be there, then you'll do break. Because if you know, if let's suppose five students are there, one student got fail, then there again you have to write break because it has to break out. So all those things you will use, right? Continue, breaks, and if, for, so many things you will do. So instead of doing so many things, you can just write every. So inside every, if you'll pass that condition, like let's suppose check whether all the student passed in physics subjects or not. So it will just check. So it is like how, like the condition should not satisfied only to some of the element. Condition should satisfy for entire element of the array. Okay, if any of the element got missed that condition or failed that condition, it will return false. Okay, but if all the like things are matching to that condition, then it will return true. Then you will get to know, okay, yeah, in physics all got passed, something like that. Okay, so in that case we have to use every methods. Okay, so we can see here, I'm not going to execute because again the same thing I'll execute because already you got to know how to do and all. So see here 10, 32, 54 is there. So I'm providing one callback function to it, and then I'm just writing, okay, element should be greater than 10. So I think it will return false, but I have written here true, right? So it's wrong, correct? So either it should be greater than equal to 10 or it should be greater than 10, this value, right? So I think this is the mismatch happened here, there. So anyway, it's fine, but at least you understood, right? So every means if all the element will satisfy this condition, then it will return true. If any of the element will dissatisfy, it will return false. Okay, so that is one thing in every. So we can use this for this type of operations. Okay, checking. Okay, next is whether it creates a, no, it doesn't, because either it returns true or false Boolean value. So there is no need of going for new array or sizing the array or whatever it is. Okay, so that is one thing we are going to check. Okay, next is sum. Sum is as like name only. It's like okay, so okay, like in class, like okay, some people are there who got passed in physics, something like that. Any some people are there who got passed, something like that. So it just checks some of the element. If one of the element also got passed, then it will create a true value. It's like a sum, either one, either two, either three. Okay, if none of the will pass, then that is always false. But any one also got satisfy, any one element of array also got satisfy, it will just return true. So these are all the methods like you can use directly instead of going for loop, checking, breaking, all those things. Okay. So this is the thing you can use for higher order functions. Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay. This ARG argument is the object, like sometimes it works for the object or any argument if you want to provide. So that is for that argument. Okay, it's not only takes only the first element. It won't only take the one element, it will take the index as well sometimes. So that is the case, it has written this or okay. Okay, so I'm not going more detail on that because that is not of use as of now. If you go for the index level, then we can use for that. Okay, so I think, yeah, so sum also we are trying to see, like, okay, some of the element will match, then we can get that things, right? So I think this is one thing. Another like sum also will return true or false, so there is no changes in the original array or no returns of the new array. Okay, that is one thing. Okay, Next is for each loop. So I think till now you have understood about like looping to the array, right? Using for of, for in, for loop, right? Normal for loop. And you have also got to know about not map. I think you got to know, right? Map. So map also we can iterate over array because it's like a transformation of array. So it can be used for like normal looping also kind of thing because it will not change the array length and all. So it's like a iteration of the array. So other way is also there, that is for each loop. So for each loop also does the same thing. Like what for loop does, that same work for each will do. But in interview will come like what is the difference of using for each and map? Both are higher order function. Map also does like iteration, for each also does iteration. So what is the difference of both? So the difference is simple. See, whenever for each you will try to apply to any array, it will not return any new array. Okay, it will not returns anything. Okay, it won't return anything. It's just used for the iteration of the array. Like how for loop will not return anything to you. For loop will not return anything to you, right? You will write for loop let I equal to 0 or something. It will not return. That is not a like function. That is a statement, right? Looping statement. Same way, this for each also will not return anything. It's just used for the iteration of the array. Okay. So just for like a shortcut syntax, we can tell shorter syntax to iterate over array. And we can provide here e comma index also we can provide. No issue. Index and then array also you can provide entire array. It will take. So those all things are there. You can iterate. So either you can use for each, you can use for of, you can use for loop as per your convenient. Okay. So this is one thing. Okay, so it does not create any array, just iterate over array. It won't return anything that I have written here mentioned. Okay. Next is the difference of for each and map. So as we know, map returns array, right? Like according to previous study, whatever we have done, map returns array. So if something returns something, means you can apply some more operation on that, right? Like let's suppose I have like I think you have also used dot split, dot reverse, dot join, dot 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 like that you have used. I think some of the places I remember like this. I'm just trying to make that is called function chaining. That concept called function chaining. Okay, I think you have heard of this. So any like string will be there. So you'll try to write str dot split split, right? Split, and then dot. You can again do dot join. I'm just should not do dot join, but I'm just saying means this denotes like this split will return array, right? Now this array again it can be provided input to this function. Okay, so this result of this method can be passed to another method. Again, this result of this method again passed to another method. So this is called as function chaining. Okay, it's not like again you have to take this result and again next line write dot join, again next line write this join. So this is helpful because this is returning something to you, right? But here in the for each will not return anything. So disadvantage of for each is you can't use it for function chaining, that you can mention. But map you can use it for function chaining because map returns new array, right? So these are all the difference you can utilize for each and map. Okay, so two, three difference you can say because this is a question they will ask you. Like what is the difference? Both are higher order functions. Both iterates the array. But what is the difference of both? Right? So those all things you can ask. You can tell like as an answer. Okay. Now next is reduce. It's a very good, but it's a very complex as per the fresher. If you go and research on the net, no, you will get mad. Like what is this exactly reduce and all. Shall I show you? Okay, let me show you first. See, the syntax is this way. Commutative, something they will write, like making complex and all. Another, if you go to think this, also it will tell you accumulator, commutative, current value, all those things it will tell you. Okay, so many things it will try to tell you and it will confuse you basically. But I will teach, yeah, it might happen like, yeah, some things might be there more, but see, if you will read this, you will get mad. Read this accumulator, current value, index. So you'll get mad. What is this happening? Accumulator plus this plus this, what plus this? right? It's a confusing kind of thing, right? But I'll give you in a small example, and with that I'll try to relate so that it will be proper understanding for you. Are you able to see my screen properly? It's visible more? Okay. Okay. So we'll do one thing. I'll just try to create one array. Okay. Just try 34, 56, 77, 78, 80, something. The problem, the like scenario is like you have to add all the element of the array, okay, and you have to sum and return the value. Like what is the total sum of the array element? Okay, so basically what you will do, you will just write let sum equal to 0 first, right? For loop, let I equal to 0, I less than array dot length I plus plus. Okay, that is fine. Now you will do sum equal to sum plus array of I, right? Right? Yeah, I think that is the one you will do, and then you will display, or you will just after for loop you will just return some console.log sum, right? Console.log sum, right? This is one way. If you want to add it in the function, then you just have to return like return sum and all, right? That is one thing you will do. Okay, so this is one thing. So if you try to execute, okay, you will get the sum of the data. Now same thing, I'm going to convert it into reduce. Okay, so first of all I'll write some small syntax like how we write the higher order function, right? So syntax is array dot reduce. Okay, it's okay, it's proper. Okay, now I'll write one arrow function. This is also okay, fine. Normally higher order function will like write like this, right? So higher order function will take element will write, right? Element will write, and then with that element item, if I write, then item becomes like each element of the array, right? But here in reduce the things are different. Okay, so I'll do one thing. I'll just write here sum. Understood? Sum is what? Sum is not part of array because sum is new variable which collects the total output of the, right? It's a different variable, new variable. We are creating sum, right? So we're writing sum equal to 0. So I'm just writing first parameter as sum. So I have to provide 0 as a value, right? So 0 as a value, how we can provide? So reduce has two parameter. One parameter for higher order functions, sorry, callback functions. Another parameter is for providing initial value for first parameter of the function, callback function. Got it? So sum is equal to 0. You have to understand with the second parameter. If you provide here array, sum will become equal to array. If you provide here true, sum will become true. Okay, so not only 0, I just wanted to show you like as per our understanding, it's a 0 now. Okay, so now you can relate sum. Okay, now you do here write next or write items, no problem. Write items. Items means what? Tell me what is items? Array data, one data at a time. So it's an item. If you want to include, if you have some like uses for the index, then you can just write index or you can ignore it. If you don't want any use for the index, if you want to check, okay, index is greater than something, so in that case you can write index, or else no issue, you can ignore index. So now tell me how we can convert this. What we'll do here, we'll do sum equal to sum plus item, right? And then reduce is a method, so it has to return, right? It has to return. In map also we are returning something, so just return sum. Fine, return sum, and then save the data, right? Save the data. That's it. It became console.log result. Now let's try to check. Fine. Understood? So now understood what is reduce? Is it difficult? No. See, so just you have to relate this with this. If you relate this with this, you will understand. Okay, reduce is this easy label to understand. But if you go here and if I'll give you directly this, then tell me how you will understand. So when I was studying previously, I also got tense. Like, what is dissolve? Like what they have written, accumulator, current value and all. The current value, okay, I understand. Okay, current value means this value. Index value. What are the accumulator? Why accumulator we are using? What is the use of accumulator and all? So all those things I studied properly and then somehow I found out like, okay, this is the thing which we do. Okay. So reduce is nothing but it will try to reduce the array in smaller form. We tell it as like, see, your array was how much? It was a high length, right? But you reduced into one value, single value, right? So the output became from this method is only one value, that is addition. If you will go, if you write here array, then it will push the data into array. That is also okay. So any operation you can do, but just the thing is you have to write it very properly. Okay, so this is one reduce method. So reduce method generally you can use it instead of writing for loops and all, that is okay. But mainly in interview, if you go and mainly people wanted to test you, they'll tell you, okay, I am giving one array to you. You just try to sum the every all element of the array, but without using for loop, using reduce. They'll mention forcefully like, okay, use reduce and write, so that whether you know reduce or not. So sometimes forcefully also they'll write. Sometimes the question comes like how, like I want you to get the this element greater than this one from array, but using higher order function. They'll forcefully mention like, yeah, you have to use higher order function. It's not like you can do some normal for loop and you can understand or you can implement. No, not like that. They will mention specifically like, okay, you must use this higher order function and you can show me what is the syntax you are writing for filter, what is the input you are passing for filter, what is this, what is that, what is the parameter, what is the return type, what is the, if no data will be there, what is the return type, if I'll pass this data, what is the return type. So everything they will ask. Okay, so these all things you have to be ready for it practicing and all. Okay, understood now? Okay. Okay, and I'm giving you some assignment. You have to write assignment as uses of filter, 5 uses of filter. Okay, for array different scenario, 5 uses of map, 5 uses of find, 5 uses of reduce, every sum, scenario based, like where is the place in the project I can use, what type of scenario we can use this filter, this find. So try to take that as assignment and try to cover it up. Okay, so that you can mention in the like in the interviewer like, okay, this is the place where I can use filter to get this data, like as I told like that time, if you want to get like who passed in physics, so we can apply every, right, so we can get to know, okay, in this subject 100% result is there or not, right. So there is scenario, so what are the multiple scenarios, like reduce I just use for some, so what are the other things I can apply reduce, so any other scenario where I can apply reduce and get the data out of it. Okay, so those all things exploration you can do. Okay, that is your assignment. Okay, I think yeah, I think that is it's I think today. Okay.